It's The Lit Show with Jeremy Fee. New episode each Tuesday. Authors welcome, comments encouraged. Hello everyone, welcome to The Lit Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Fee. As always, I've got something special for you today. Every once in a while, I don't just talk about what I'm reading and make book recommendations and that sort of thing. I occasionally talk about my own writing as an author. So hopefully you will enjoy today's video, which is about Preptober for NaNoWriMo and what I am planning to write. NaNoWriMo, in case you don't know, is National Novel Writing Month every year in November. I encourage you to participate. I would say if you have the time, but come on, let's get real. If you are willing to make the time in your schedule, get yourself to write 2,000 words a day. You can write 50,000 words in a month, and it just needs to average out to about 2,000 words a day, and you should be good trying to get that 50,000 words written. It would come out to what a lot of people consider to be novella length for a full book, but some people will accept in some genres 50,000 words as a full book. So it depends on what genre you're writing in. I am planning a fantasy novel, and people tend to expect 80,000 to 90,000 to 100,000 or more words in a fantasy novel. It may be a fantasy novella that I am writing. It is Apocalypse Army. The idea that there is an army invading the mainland, and it is basically bringing about the end of the world for these people because they live in a fantasy setting. A lot of small towns, that sort of thing. So you have an evil army come breaking through. They are burning down farms and destroying people's homes. It is the end of these people's reality, the end of the world as they know it. And I think I've got some interesting characters that I'm working on as I'm fleshing out the outline for it, trying to make it a story with not necessarily the stereotypical farmer, that sort of thing, but a lot of more common everyday people, and not necessarily the kings and queens and great princes and powerful wizards and that sort of stuff of the world who are reacting to the problem. Though ultimately, as happens in a lot of fantasy novels, it will probably go up to that scale as I am trying to plan the outline and figure out exactly how to end this story as a fantasy novella to where it could come together and have a sense of conclusion at the end. You know, writing a conclusion can be difficult. I think for a lot of us writers, coming up with the characters and doing the world building is a whole lot of fun. Starting out the story, you know, once you get going with the beginning, starting out usually feels pretty easy, getting the conflict going. And then as a writer, sometimes that's when I feel I hit a rocky sort of patch going into the middle and the second half of the story. But hey, I've managed to accomplish a lot. Last year's NaNoWriMo, I was able to finish my poetry collection and work on some short stories, which granted I'm still revising those about a year later, but that's good. I feel accomplished when I write, when I get some writing done. And that is really the purpose of NaNoWriMo. So the purpose this month with Preptober is just to get ready for that, coming up with the story ideas and the characters. Hope you've enjoyed me rambling a bit about my writing. Feel free to leave questions down below about the characters and story, and I can answer them to the best of my ability right now. Though, of course, that's all subject to change once November hits and I start writing out the story because, you know, characters come to life and they will just start saying and doing things that sometimes as an author you're not planning. They'll just happen. But that's it for today's Writer's Update. Every day is a good day for a book talk. Peace.